Jim Kimmel, or as he prefers to be called, honorary Yenta Jim Kimmel. It has been a while since we have talked about one of late night television's huge embarrassing failures. To be honest with you, I almost forgot that Jim Kimmel was still on the air. In the year of our Lord 2025, late night shows have gone the way of the dodo bird, even though these shows are literally being hosted by dodos. Apparently, I'm not the only one who's forgotten the existence of Jim Kimmel. It seems like his audience, which is rapidly dwindling, has forgotten about him as well. Back in January, Jim organized a butt bongo celebration and invited all of his pretend friends in the mainstream media. We are so back! My romantic obsession with the orange man is paying off. I have surpassed Jim Fallon in the ratings. Spank my ass and call me a cucumber. Woohoo! Yes, yes, yes. During the first quarter of the year, Jim organized a celebration for his supposed rating success. It was a they-them of Hollywood's elite. All of Hollywood's biggest stars were celebrating Jim's success. Matter of fact, my inside sources were outside the event interviewing friends and family, staff members. They spoke with one of the excited celebrants who was entering the festival with her emotional support dog. Now, I use the pronoun her loosely here because gender has not been specified. As of the time of this recording, biologists at Woke U, they have been unable to determine gender. However, they were able to determine that the emotional support dog was indeed gay. Watch for yourself.
Can you tell me about your dog?
This is Honey. He is a gay, gender-fluid golden retriever Afghan hound mix.
Yes! How did you know that he was gay?
We have another dog named Charlie. He's about 7 years older than Honey, and they are completely inseparable.
Oh, hi! Happy Pride!
I'm sure emotional support dogs Honey and Charlie had a fabulous time at the Butt Bongo Festival. I'm sure the litter of puppies are due any day now. Unfortunately, the birth of gender-fluid puppies, that is the only reason for Jim Kimmel to celebrate. Back in January, Jim was averaging 1.9 million viewers with 212,000 in the 18 to 49 demo. During the first quarter, he averaged 1.8 million with 178,000 in the demo. Now, outside of Steph Colbert, captain of the Bruce Caboose at CBS, Jim Kimmel was the most watched show in late night. Well, Casey, what about Greg Gutfeld? He's the king of late night television. Yeah, but according to the mainstream media, Greg Gutfeld isn't actually a late night host. They don't consider Greg Gutfeld to be in the late night genre because he airs on Fox News and because he keeps kicking their ass. Jim Kimmel had overtaken Jim Fallon in the ratings. He was damn sure more popular than Sean Squires. But my name is Seth Meyers.
It doesn't matter what your name is.
Unfortunately for Jim Kimmel, the brief rating surge, it was short-lived. According to the ratings that I have available for last month, Jim Kimmel's audience declined by 300,000 viewers. He averaged 1.6 million with 140,000 in the key demo. Now, I'm no expert in math, but that appears to be a 34% decline in the demo. It's not hard to figure out why. As you're about to see, Jim Kimmel continues to lie to his dwindling audience. But the biggest problem for Jim Kimmel, and this is a problem for everyone in late night not named Greg Gutfeld, they're all the same. The reason late night ratings continue to circle the pooper, it's because every host is going after a niche audience that's getting smaller and smaller. Make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. Shoot me an email, BTLKC84@gmail.com. Link to the second channel in the description below. Today on the second channel, talked about the substandard coverage of the NBA Finals at ESPN and how most people responsible for this garbage will not be returning next season. So if you haven't already, click the link in the description, subscribe to the second channel. For decades, late-night television was a very profitable business for the networks. Back then, everyone had their preference. Some preferred Jay Leno, others preferred Letterman. Me personally, I always liked Conan O'Brien and Jon Stewart. Although they were competing with each other, they each had their own unique audience. Conan and Jon Stew appealed to a younger demo. Jay Leno was the most popular host in late night. And David Letterman, he appealed to middle-aged men with his dry sense of humor. The reason they could appeal to such a vast audience, they were all different, which is something that is sorely missing from late-night television today. Like I've been telling you guys for years now, the biggest problem in late night, it's the host. You know why Greg Gutfeld is the #1 show in late night? I like Gutfeld, but I don't find him to be all that funny. The reason Greg Gutfeld is so successful, he's the only guy in late night who appeals to over half the country. He's different. You got one host appealing to over half the country, while every other host in late night is splitting the audience of wanker spankers. It's a battle of huge embarrassing failure to see who could be the most obsessed with the Orange Man. And Jim Kimmel, he has this unnatural, unhealthy obsession with Donald Trump. I have never seen another man this obsessed with another man. Well, Uncle KC, what about Skip Bayless and his obsession with LeBron James? Yeah, that obsession was weird, and it lasted a while. But Skippy, he eventually got over his obsession with his Lord and Risen King. As soon as he started receiving the masculine attention he desired from Shannon Sharpe, "Hey, it's me, Shay Shay!" As soon as he started receiving attention from Shay, Skippy quickly got over his obsession with LeBron. But Jim Kimmel has never moved past his obsession with the Trumper. If I remember correctly, over 90% of his jokes are made about Donnie. After a while, I would imagine that the audience gets tired of hearing that shit. Tuesday night, Jim Kimmel once again opened his show by sedating the audience with his monologue. He was talking about the peaceful protest in Los Angeles, which the rest of us are calling riots. With Jim Kimmel taping his show in the middle of Hollywood, he wanted everyone in America to know that everything's all good. There's no riots here. Look at this footage. As you can see, Chad Thundercock is walking into CVS to buy tampons. There's our fearless leader, John Biden, purchasing Metamucil. Don't listen to the Orange Man. Hollywood is A-OK. Watch for yourself.
I just want to say thank God for President Trump and the heroes at ICE for protecting us from these bloodthirsty fruit stand vendors spreading their dangerous pineapple chunks and mangoes with a squirt of lime all over the city. We are so grateful for what you have done. I'm very angry, I have to say. I cannot believe what's going on. I knew it was going to be bad. I did not know it was going to be this bad. People who have lived here their whole lives, people who've been in this city longer than I have, the vast majority of whom have never done anything wrong, are being abducted, which is the correct word to use, by agents in masks, hiding their identities, grabbing people off the street and at work, sending people to detention centers. And to protest that, which is not only our right as Americans, it's our responsibility, Los Angelenos have been gathering to demonstrate, and with very few exceptions, peacefully demonstrate, to voice their opposition. Let's take a look outside, because I want you to see what it's like in Hollywood right now. You won't see this elsewhere on television. Not only is it not an apocalypse, they're having a Disney Pixar movie premiere right now.
Oh, Jim! Oh, you're so funny! Oh! Correct me if I'm wrong here. For starters, I thought Jim Kimmel was a comedian. What the hell was so funny about that? It would be one thing if this was a satirical monologue, but this was not a monologue. This was a lecture. This was a form of indoctrination. Do you remember one of the main stories last month throughout the mainstream media? It was Jake Tapper's book exposing the cover-up of Joe Biden. Who played a critical role in the cover-up? The media. The same media who is now trying to cover up the ongoing riots in Los Angeles. Not only are they trying to claim that these riots are peaceful protests, they're also claiming that people are upset over the children. It's all about the children. Donnie is taking kids away from their families. These families have been here for centuries. It's so wrong. I actually feel bad for illegal immigrants because they're just the latest marginalized group that deacons at Woke United Methodist are using. 5 years ago, they were using minorities and the LGBT. Well, what about the plus and the at sign? Damn. Yeah, them two and even they. These protests, they might have initially started over the Trumper enforcing the law, but it's now been overtaken by the far left. This is a Marxist movement, and it's the reason the FBI is investigating the funding behind it. Same story, different cause. Same groups, different labels. But unlike the summer of 2020, deacons at Woke United Methodist, they are missing two key components, and they know it. Number one, they're lacking support from the vast majority of the country who agrees with what the Trumper is doing. And number two, they are missing the power and the influence of the mainstream media. 5 years ago, the media was extremely powerful. 5 years ago, the media had the power to shape or create narratives. That is no longer the case. People have figured out that the mainstream media is full of shit. Instead of getting their news from MSNBC, they get their news from Uncle KC. Instead of watching CNN, they're getting their news from Twitter. I know people are upset with Elon Musk right now, but Elon Musk buying Twitter, that changed everything. Not only did it cause a mass exodus of wanker spankers to move over to Blue Sky where normal people can no longer see them, or anyone else for that matter, it also opened Twitter up to a free flow of information. The media, they can no longer disguise the truth because libs of TikTok is there to expose it. It also caused sites like Facebook, YouTube to relax their policies on free speech. In my lifetime, the mainstream media has never been less influential than they are right now. But give me your thoughts on this. Jim Kimmel sees a drastic ratings decline since the beginning of the year. Greg Gutfeld remains the #1 show in late night. Why? Why is Greg Gutfeld thriving while everyone else seems to be declining? Also, are you surprised that Jim Kimmel is lying about the riots? Let me know. Sound off in the comments below. I'll see you guys tomorrow.